This is intended for a mature audience only. Bitches.
Welcome back from the holidays, my fellow deviants, and this is Raw and Uncut, and I'm Randy, and I'm joined by
Meg.
Izzy.
And again, our special guest, Steve, is back. He stuck around through the holidays. Megan didn't scare him away yet.
What?
So, welcome back. Hopefully the second time your jitters won't be as unnerving and you'll share a little bit more. So, those of you just joining in, this is a podcast where three friends here pushing the boundaries of social norms. We bring them to you through this podcast. And over the holidays, we push the boundaries ourselves a little bit, and we'll have those stories coming up for you. The safe word today is sour. So getting into the episode, we're going to be discussing dating apps. There's a big back and forth when it comes to dating apps.
Absolutely.
So specifically today, we're going to be talking about the different types of dating apps, and we're just going to keep it kind of basic with them. What are on them? You know, are they good? Are they bad? And where do we particularly see dating apps? So, the new norm of dating among people now is actually through dating apps. For half of the people sitting at this table, we started dating in bars. The other half of this table started dating on dating apps. So they're at that age where they could start dating in dating apps.
Excuse me? Not all my dates involve dating apps.
I'm not saying not all of your dates involve dating apps. I'm saying that you're at that age where dating apps was an availability to you.
Watch your tone.
When we started dating, it was you met them in a bar. You saw them across the room, and you had to have the courage to go over and talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a cute little story, but go on.
All right. So, you know, or we had to meet them through a friend, you know, or stuff like that. Very rarely. I mean, some people used Yahoo Chat and stuff like that, but it was so hard to find people in your area on those things. So,
Yeah.
Have you ever Craiglisted? Like, put your, ooh, look at that smile.
Craigslist personals went away.
Yes.
But I asked, have you ever
Have I
posted?
ever? Yes, I have posted to Craigslist personals before.
Ooh, I cannot get you to say the safe word. Okay.
So there is an abundance of dating apps out there. There's gay apps, there's straight apps, there's bi apps, there's, if you're into a particular type of fetish, there's apps for just those fetishes. You know, every niche has its app out there anymore. And so we're going to discuss, just like, you know, like I said, some of the differences between them. And Meg, I'm going to let you talk about your experiences with the straight dating apps.
Yeah. So most apps, with the exception of a couple of them, have the option for you to choose your preference. So you are able to go in there and say, yes, I'm straight, I'm looking for this, or yes, I'm bi, I'm looking for this. They're not solely
Unless
kicking
you're
out one type or another.
ChristianSingle.com or Christian Mingle, whatever it is.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of those people on there are not
I know.
solely Christian or anything. They just
In Christian
It's
men.
like, you know, farmers only. They're not always farmers.
right. Yeah. So I would say, with the exception of a couple apps that are only for gay individuals or only for men specifically.
Damn, she said that was enforced, like she was pissed about it.
Yeah, well, listen, there's a couple times that I tried to get that same type of freaking app for me, and it's not available for straight people. It's only available for gay men. And
Really?
It's very upsetting because I like the location feature.
When
yeah.
it comes to hookups and stuff like that,
They made
it's
it.
pretty nice.
So, I'm
Yeah, but it's
so
also
jealous
so
all
creepy.
the time.
It's also creepy.
I've had creepy situations.
Like if you're on the app and it says they're 60 feet away from you,
I mean,
now I'm looking around to see who the hell's looking at me.
they might not be even on the app at the same time you are, but
If they've, correct me if I'm wrong because you're the grinder expert.
Absolutely.
Do they still have a green dot when you're online?
Green dot. Yeah, there's a. Oh, wait. No, I don't know. I think it's the alcohol. But
so there used to be like if they were online, they had a green dot.
Yeah.
If they weren't online, there was no green dot. So if somebody's 60 feet away from you with a green dot, that means they're online at the same time you are.
Yeah.
I've had a scary situation with the Grindr app where I'm waiting at a bus stop, and I'm on Grindr, just surfing, seeing what's nearby. And I'm going home to work. It was just, browsing kind of situation. And someone starts hitting me up like, hey, I see you at the bus stop. Do you need a ride? And I'm like, no, I don't need a ride. And they would not give me their picture. They were a blank profile, and they kept trying. And I'm looking around and I see nobody around me, but they see me. So it made it a lot scarier in that situation.
That.
I guess it's important to know that for me personally, when it comes to dating apps, is like, have I been on dating apps like Grindr and stuff like that? Yes, I have. I primarily use them for trying to find friends, not hookups.
Yeah.
And other, like-minded individuals, But yes, I have hooked up with them, but I just find them creepy.
They can be.
I just find them too creepy. I'm not on any of them anymore, but, just in my line of work nowadays, like just seeing what goes on dating apps behind the scenes, it's like, it's too creepy.
Yeah.
So, do you think that dating apps are used more now for dating or hookups?
I would say hookups.
Yeah.
But I also say it depends on what app.
I think it depends on the app. Because Grindr, you can tell there is a fixation with sex. Like it revolves around sex. They cater towards sex. And then you have apps like Bumble. Like people do use it for hookups, but you don't see it as often. Like you'll have like one or two.
Well, I think like with Bumble though, isn't Bumble kind of like Tinder?
The only
You're
difference
swiping left and
is
right.
that women gotta talk first.
Yeah.
With Bumble.
With gay people, it doesn't matter. It's like, who the hell's gonna talk?
Yeah.
But then Bumble.
Hey,
you can
Bumble,
split
make
it.
sure you change that to bottoms have to talk first.
That would be cute.
But with Bumble, you can choose dating or friends. That's the only difference. That's the thing
Yeah.
I did like about Bumble was that you had the option to look for only friends.
Yeah, I could see that maybe. But I mean, even then, like, you I remember when I was on the apps, like, and looking for friends, you'd be like, hey, I'm looking for friends to go camping or hiking or something like that. And next thing you know, they'd be like, okay, yeah, cool, I'm into that kind of stuff. And then like literally 2 lines later, they're like, you want to fuck?
Oh.
And it's like, I really just told you that I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for this particular.
Facebook dating is the same way. They also have a dating side and a friend side.
Did not know that either.
And on the friend side, there's a couple
They recently
times.
started that.
Yeah, that's
the whole dating
pretty
side.
new. I've had people on there I've matched with friends with, and with like-minded people. I seriously only wanted to be friends because we are the same. We like the kind of same stuff. And it would always end up being more than that. And then you get everybody on those dating apps, whether it's you hit a heart or whether you swipe left or right, that spam it. So they have no idea what your profile actually says. They just spam it and hope that somebody actually likes them.
Yep.
And I don't like that either.
Yep. And that's, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit, though, is like the whole ease of swiping left and right, and you get down to the point where it's like, all you're really basing it on is a picture.
Yeah.
So, for me, like, I think that dating apps have been primarily switched over to hookups. And like Izzy was saying, like Bumble, you don't have that as much on there. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, Bumble's more like Tinder.
Yeah.
It has similar format.
And you don't have the, you don't have 2 things. You don't have the distance. You have a distance, but not like Grindr's distance.
Yeah, like by the foot.
By the foot.
Yep.
And then 2, with it being more like Tinder, there's a potential of them not being online and having that immediate conversation with them like you would on Grindr.
Yep.
Right?
I think they still show like a dot, but it's not necessarily like accurate. Or
Right.
I don't know if it's accurate, or I also think it's like after you match with them.
Yeah.
Right. So, because like we met through Surge.
I don't think it was a swiping one.
It was a swiping app. It was called Surge, but it was for gay men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Then I met your ass in Grindr. I'm like, hey, bitch.
yeah, we've been friends ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so for me, like, I feel like they've just been used for hookups way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody even gets out there and expresses that they want it for just friendship or something like that, like people just look past that and try to get into that sex realm with it.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other side of me, and which is a big reason I don't use these apps, is because of the criminal activity that goes on behind these apps with all of these apps.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like coming from the law enforcement aspect of my career, you see everything from prostitution to underage sex to drugs, you name it, you can get it on
trafficking.
Yeah, on these apps. And it's like, quite honestly, law enforcement doesn't really want to do anything about it. You know, it's one of those taboo worlds for them that unless they have somebody who is in that culture that is willing to step up and be like, hey, let's do something, they're not going to touch it. You know, and even still, I can say, coming from where I came from, you have people that are willing to step up and be like, we need to do something about our local gay culture on Grindr because of the drugs and the sex trafficking and stuff like that. And they still don't want to step up and do anything because they don't want to have that label on their department and their agency that they're targeting people. So I mean, it's a huge criminal aspect to it that is a big reason that I don't use dating apps at all. So, but that's my personal belief. You guys can have your own.
As we do.
So, and like I said, I won't say that I've never done it. So, but I tend to not do it anymore. So, what do you feel though that when you're on these dating apps, like what do you feel should be on a person's profile?
What should be obviously a face pic. It has to be within a year old. Like not
yes.
like
How do you judge that though?
you can't.
Do you want
This
them
is
to
what
hold
I
a
expect.
newspaper?
No, I expect this from them. Like you shouldn't be taking old ass pictures and putting it on your profile.
Yeah, I get
like
that.
That's over time you do change. It's kind of it starts to step into the boundaries of catfishing.
Right.
Because it's not an accurate
for
depiction.
For me, when it comes to photos, like before I got off of the apps and was looking for friendship because of the line of work that I have, I just never put a photo up there. Didn't mean that I wouldn't share it with you, but I just never wanted it to be public.
I still think you're whack.
Yeah.
So
I will 100% left if you have.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I mean, I trust me, I that was one of the things that, was brought up to me a lot when I was having conversations with people. But once I explained to them why, because I can tell you for a fact that when I was on the apps, there was people on there that I had taken to jail.
Yeah.
So for me to have my photograph on there of my face, now this person knows, so it's kind of like I said, it was more of a safety thing for me, not to put my face picture out there, but I would share it with you pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So like if I was having a conversation with you and I knew I didn't know you through work, I would pretty much share it with you immediately.
And I've had people on Grindr do that where they're, they start the conversation, but they show you the picture. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like you shared yourself. We can have a conversation now. But if they don't send anything, I'm going to completely ignore you. It's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's one of those fool me once type situations. I did that, took a chance because I liked the information they put on their profile. Matched, started talking, and they said, well, hey, do you want to see my picture? I said, yeah, that would be nice. And immediately I got a picture of this young dude with cum down his face. And this, it was just a picture of him in this quote unquote sexy pose with cum all the way down his face.
He was straight? Was that his
supposedly?
Cum? So many questions.
I know, right? Like I'm thinking, like, where did the cum? I mean, I know where cum comes from. But.
Yeah, but why? I have no idea. So either he was with somebody else and they did that to him, or it's his own.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I blocked him.
I guess.
And I never did no pictures again.
Damn.
Nope.
But yeah, no pictures, that's bad. And if you're looking for something serious, if you're on dating apps and you're like, I can't find anyone, blah, 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 but you have nothing in your bio,
Yeah.
that is infuriating.
You could
give a description.
do like a friend of mine does and use DoorDash.
Oh, gosh.
That's what he does. DoorDash and Uber. That's how he finds his hookups and dates.
So wait, how does that work? Like,
Because you know, like when you get a DoorDash or whatever, you have like, I think it's like 3 minutes or something like that after they deliver your meal to send them a message.
Mm-hmm.
So if he thinks they're cute, he sends them a message with his phone number.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't think I'd be a fan of that if a DoorDasher did that to me.
No, I don't
not the
think so.
DoorDasher. The DoorDasher doesn't send him. He sends his out.
Oh, so he goes DoorDash.
So like you would order. No. Like you would order food.
Yeah.
The DoorDasher would bring it. If you think that DoorDasher was cute, you send him your number.
Oh, what a sly dog.
Right. So, yeah. I think I've seen a few porn start like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So,
I mean,
but yeah, I think that dating apps has really opened up the whole catfishing potential. You know.
absolutely.
So other than photographs, what else do you guys think should be on somebody's profile?
Some kind of bio, like something about you.
Absolutely.
But I mean, we go back to that what we were talking about a few seconds ago. Is like if it's Tinder or something, you get 5 words.
But regardless,
Well, so let me rephrase that. Unless you click on their profile, you get like 5 words.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because you get like just half
Just
a sentence.
Sentence, yeah.
You know, and it's like
so I guess you have to define what do you use dating apps for? Are you using it mainly for dating? Because if I'm using it mainly for dating, I'm going to be looking for a bio.
exactly.
I'm going to be looking for like, what are your interests?
But if you're using a dating app for dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many bios are you clicking on before you just look at their picture?
I mean, that's the first, and you get the physical. I've had situations where I'm like, I'm physically attracted to this person. And when I read their bio, I'm like, fuck off. And then left. Like, you just seem like an asshole. And then there's been situations where I'm like, oh, this guy's okay. And then I read their bio and I'm like, he sounds awesome. Swipe right. So it's not just 100%. Well, for me, it's not 100% just the physical aspects. If you can tell me about yourself and open up about yourself and it clicks with me, then there might be something. And, you know, we can go on a date and see where it goes. But
I guess.
if I'm looking for a date, if I'm looking for a hookup, of course, it's strictly going to be physical. I'm not going to care what comes out your mouth. More like what comes in your mouth. But and just keep it going.
So, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, again, I'm not on them now, but I know when I was on them looking for friends and even sometimes hookups, like for me, it had to be like the photograph, you know, the bio and their age. To me, age is very important.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, like we had discussed in the beginning, like I'm typically not into guys my age or older.
Yeah.
I like guys younger, not as young as you, Megan, but younger. Whereas Izzy likes guys that are older.
But that's not to say I wouldn't date someone younger than me.
Right.
There is that chance again with like, if you can impress me and I'm not going to, you know, shoot you down because of like you're just younger. I've come across a lot of younger guys that are asses, but yeah, there's still that chance, that potential there.
See, and this is my opinion. So there are dating apps and there are hookup apps. If you want nothing but a relationship, you're going to go to Match or eHarmony. If you want to go and just
I don't know about that though.
see,
Because
that's a pay thing.
Here's the thing,
you
because
have to pay.
I get that. And I'm not talking about the pay thing. Like if for our listeners out there, and I'm going to play devil's advocate because again, I don't use them now, but for our listeners out there, like say in the gay world, like the majority of gay guys out there use Grindr.
Yeah.
Like it's a given.
And
And so if if I was them looking for a relationship, I'm going where I have the most fish to fish from.
No, I disagree with that. Because I come across a lot of gay people that are like, I can't find anyone. And I'm like, where are you looking at? Grinder. I'm like, you're looking in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going.
Well, I'm not saying that that's the right
difficult.
place. I'm not saying that that's the right place.
Well, you're
I'm just
making it more
saying,
difficult on yourself.
I'm just saying that there's the majority of people use that, so your options are greater
I don't know.
See, the majority, but it's free, is it not?
Yeah, it is free.
to an extent.
So when you don't find people looking for hookups on eHarmony, because even if you got a message, you have to have a subscription in order to read it or to reply.
True, and that's how it was with Surge.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, we had to have subscriptions to
Right.
read
So
each other's
unless you're
messages.
willing to put in the effort to any type of relationship you're looking for, you're not going to hunt for hookups there, because it's essentially you're just paying a prostitute at that point, because you're paying for the app to find these people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you get the majority of the hookups on apps that are
I guess.
mostly free. Tinder is free with the exception of, there's always that bump up of get a boost or do whatever.
I mean, we say Grinder, but there are other gay apps out there like Scruff, Growler.
There's this Bumblebee Hornet thing. There's Scruff. There's a bunch that try to emulate it.
There's a bunch of apps out there that try to emulate Grindr. It's just, again, typically 99% of your gays that are looking for hookups or sex or even relationships tend to gravitate toward Grindr just because that's where everybody goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it sucks.
But again, the catfishing definitely,
God.
is prevalent on those apps. I've been in a situation a plethora of times where somebody that I'm having a conversation with is not the person that shows up.
No.
He said no.
Well, I mean, that's just, I've seen that too. A lot of times you find like they only have like one photo on their profile. That's like an automatic, absolutely not.
Right.
Especially if it's like a 10 out of 10, gorgeous or whatever, and they only have one photo. That's a dead giveaway that it's not
That's a
there.
red flag for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you also have the ones that just have a bunch of like either really old pictures or even pictures that aren't them, and go to meet up with them, and it's just not them at all.
Right. So before we jump down our catfish story hole here, we're going to go around the table here in just a second and tell our catfish stories if we have any. We're going to take a quick break, give our listeners a second to kind of review what we discussed, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, my fellow deviants. Like I said, we're going to get into our catfish stories here, and then we'll get back to talking about dating apps. So we're going to start off with Steve. He's going to tell us about his catfishing story. So were you the one catfished or catfishing?
Catfished.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So I know I'm first of all, I'm not really crazy about the dating apps. They're okay at times.
See? I'm not as vanilla as he is, though.
But it's happened a couple times. I think it's like more like a normal thing now than anything, where you'll be swiping and then you'll meet up with match with somebody. You'll get having an okay or even a great conversation with them, and you make plans to go to a bar, or do whatever, do something, hang out for a little while, and you meet up with them, and it's a huge disappointment when you like thought you had like some kind of connection with just like having a conversation, and they lied to you and with what they looked like, and it's not even close to who
So
they
what
are.
did they initially look like when they
So, I mean, that's
presented themselves?
catfishing in itself,
Yeah.
but what is your actual story? Like, tell us your story.
Just matched with somebody and had a really good conversation with them, and go to a bar with her, and so she'll come out and like you don't even know it's her. I didn't even know it was her at the time.
Oh, so you were just looking around
yeah, I'm
like
looking around, and then
So what was the difference?
What do you mean, like in looks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
from her-
like her profile picture, was she like skinny and then she showed up at like 500 pounds?
Was
or-
she blonde?
Kind of
into-
like that, yeah. Kind of like that. And she had to tap me on the shoulder and say, like, ask me, and is this you? And I was like, is that you?
Oh my god,
think
that's so cringy though.
I think if that was the case, I'd have probably turned around and said, yeah, but that's not you.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly. And that
Oh, you
didn't-
tried to start a fight.
Yeah, that didn't last very long. I was out in there like less than an hour.
How'd you get out of it?
I had to go to the bathroom and I snuck around back.
Ooh, the old out the back door trick.
Mm.
The old out the back door trick. I can't say that I've never done that one.
I wish I had that option.
What? Sneak out the back door?
I
Yeah.
thought the back door was always your option.
Oh, now he speaks.
The whiskey's talking.
Oh man.
So
You got one, Izzy?
you got one, Izzy?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, it was catfish because he definitely did lie about something, about his appearance. You know, in his profile, and he brought this up. This is what pisses me off. He brought it up. Like, he made it a point to let me know something about him that was a clear lie. So he looked like the person in his picture. It was definitely him. But what he lied about was his height. So he was telling me, like, while we were having conversations and things like that, he brought up about how, I don't know how he brought it up. I can't remember the conversation completely, but would bring up, like, you know, how his height and things like that. I'm like, okay, weird, but like, that's not something I care. I'm 6'2", you know, too. So we're like the same height because I'm 6'2".
No, I'm taller than you.
So we started to 6'1". They always think they're a little bit taller, but we decided to make you know, let's meet up, let's hang out, and it was going to be a movie date. Don't do movie dates, people. And I'm waiting for him at the front of the movie. He's telling me he's just getting there, and you know, I'm just standing out there looking around trying to find him. He's like, I'm here. And from a distance,
I'm sorry. I just had this like image of like this like guy like 4'5" walking up to you.
Just you wait. So this doesn't make no sense, but it felt like he was taller from afar. As he got closer, it's as if he got shorter. And when he got to like right next to me, I'm looking straight down. Like, I'm talking about 5'4", like somewhere around there. And I'm looking down at him and I'm like, this is an obvious lie. Like, why? And the whole time, like the whole experience of like going to the movies and all that, I'm like, I kind of get why people lie about their height. Like, they're insecure about that and stuff like that. But you made it a point to bring it up and stuff. Like, instead of like tucking it under the rug and like meet up with the person and be like, wow, you're short, but that's it. And what bothered me too was that he made the assumption that it would be a problem. I'm okay with like short people, you know? Like,
Sure.
But
Yeah, you pick them up and spin them like a top.
yeah, exactly. But it was such a turnoff because, you know, you lied about it.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be that deep. You are the person, you know, in the pictures, but you lied about your height. And now it turned into a bigger thing than it needed to be.
So y'all went to the movies.
Yeah.
Did you get the adult and child price?
He was a grown man. He had a beard. He was bald. I like bald men for some reason.
Did you hook up?
Yeah, we did.
So he took you to Munchkin Land?
Yeah. I was like, pop, 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 pop. And then I was out.
Pop, pop, pop. He was part of the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah. Gave him back to Willy Wonka.
So, wow. Have I ever dated a short person? I'm trying to think.
Oh, they're fun. They're like little chihuahuas. It's like, I'm just joking.
No, I can tell you this. I dated a Filipino once that was like a little chihuahua. No, he wasn't. Well, yeah, he was short.
People be falling asleep on short people. The best sex was with the short dude.
Yeah.
He took me on a trip. He had me all over that room. I was like, God damn. I'm like, can I breathe? Can I have a water break?
No. My height or goodbye.
Oh,
See, I'm okay with
can't.
height. Like, to me, height doesn't really matter.
No, got to be my height or bigger.
You
Can't
know.
do it.
Now,
Can't do it.
he had me grab.
I don't want you standing on the step stool beside my bed, but
Yeah.
at that point, I would probably just put you on the bed.
So wait, you like shorter guys or taller guys or same height?
It doesn't really matter to me.
It don't matter.
No, height really doesn't play a factor for me.
It can make sex awkward though.
Oh, it
Depending
definitely
on what
can.
position you're in.
But I mean, even then, I mean, with height, it's more along the lines of you just have to know your partner. You know.
Yeah, I get
You
it.
know. Again, if I had somebody who's extremely short, you just put them on the bed. You know.
What do you mean on the bed? Like you're topping him? You're gonna
No,
crush
if
the
I'm
poor
bottoming,
guy.
you're not going to tell them, hey, I want you to stand on the side of the bed and fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you on your tippy toes, bitch. Get to work.
You know. So I think it's just, you know, it's just all in like the dynamic of the sex. Like if you're shorter and taller, then it can work.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be awkward. It's just,
I'm just saying, don't underestimate them.
oh, you know, underestimate them. So,
I'm reminiscing over here.
Meg, did you have any catfish stories?
I mean, I've had guys show me a picture and I'm
How many times have you gotten cock shots that weren't the actual cock that you went to?
Oh man.
twice, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was expecting that number to be a lot higher.
No.
Oh my god.
I do not ask for them.
Oh, okay.
I don't ask for them. If they send them to me, that's on them, but I don't.
Also, you might walk into a sweet potato.
That's a possibility, but I don't, because that's not a factor for me. I mean, eventually I'll know whether it's compatible or not, but that's not a choice that I make first.
Well, I can tell you this, and when it comes to measurement, guys are like when they go fishing.
Yeah.
It might be this big, but they're going to tell you it's that big.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few times they've sent me them next to a water bottle.
I hate
I
how
don't get
guys
that.
try to lie to another guy like about their dick size, and I'm looking at you like, bruh. Like I have a dick too, you know?
I look at it this way. Why lie about it? I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
If we're discussing
Yes,
hooking
that's
up,
the biggest problem
Yeah.
with catfishing.
why lie about your dick size?
Most of the time they think they can get you to at least agree, and then when they're there, you're not gonna turn
You're
them
not gonna
away.
back out at that point.
So I had one guy I swiped right on to meet up with, and he came to now I don't usually do this at my own house,
Ain't that the truth?
but
She uses our bedroom.
there was
Not mine.
it was
Our
an
guest
empty,
bedroom.
it was an empty house for a few days. Why not stack them? So I got one.
Oh, I think I remember this.
So I swiped right, and he showed up to the house, and the picture was 12 years old and
A
about
12-year-old cock size?
50 pounds
Oh,
heavier,
yeah.
Okay.
and he smelled horrible. I shut the door. He didn't even get. He probably
Is he white?
yes.
I'm telling you, white guys stink.
Stop it.
They do. I'm telling you. I'm white, y'all, just so you know. But for me personally, I think white guys smell like desperation and potatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like there is a smell about white guys that to me, I'm not a fan of their musk.
No.
I like me some mashed potatoes.
So I'd say that's the closest I get when I don't know that it was legitimate. Like trying, I guess it was because he was absolutely heavier than he was
Yeah.
in the original picture, and you could tell it was a high school picture, and he's definitely a Marine and
Damn Marines.
in the service. So you think he told me he was a Marine, so I think of a specific physique.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no,
No.
I've been proven that a couple times now. So when he showed up at the door, I'm like, and he still hits me up.
Still?
After you close the
Still.
door on his ass,
He still hits me up. I had to turn the app off. I was
girl,
like,
you
I'm
didn't
done.
even give him the magic.
That's
like-
probably, hey, we know you got the magic pussy.
Oh.
Yeah,
We know. So do our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But that's as close as I've come to catfishing.
Well, my catfish story goes way back.
Mm.
Back to when I was younger.
oh my god, it's black and white.
I'm not that damn old.
Well, that's where my imagination went.
but I will
So-
say that we met through Yahoo Chat. So,
Oh, chat. There we go.
you know, this was back in the day.
Not the
Back
Craigslist.
back before dating
Before
apps.
Craigslist.
Back before Craigslist. Actually, I don't know. Was Craigslist around when Yahoo Chat was around? I don't know.
Couple years after.
But definitely back before dating apps.
Yeah.
And back before camera phones were a thing when you had to take pictures with webcams. So it's important for our listeners to know that even now I'm more into femme type guys. Don't get me wrong. I like a masculine guy. I like them to act masculine. I'm not into guys, though. They're like hairy and
chiseled and...
Well, no, I like a chiseled guy. Don't get me wrong. I like the whole muscles.
Cut is fine.
Yes.
Not like overbearing gym.
No, I like that too.
What?
I just not like hairy.
Too much masculine features.
Yeah,
for
no.
you?
Yeah, no beard.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
I like a clean shave. You know, clean it up. So.
Goodbye.
So. I like a little bit of a femme type guy. Not too femme though. Don't get too queenie on me. So, so we were chatting through Yahoo Chat. We'd shared several messages. Like Steve said, you know, you share messages, you have conversations with people. You know, you think you're going to be cool. We've shared a few photos through chat or through email. And then we decided to meet. Now, we'd been chatting for about 7 months, though.
Whoa.
Wow.
This is an investment.
Yeah.
Like, I had invested in this. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was about 7 months. Now, I say that, but then again, I also was in the military at the time. So there was times where like we would go for like 2 or 3 weeks and not have a conversation because, again, didn't have cell phones. Couldn't
Was
text.
he in the military too?
No.
Okay.
So, so we decided to meet. We met. We lived about an hour and a half apart. So we decided to kind of meet in the middle.
And was the conversations you had with him in those, like, what was it, 7 months? Was it like very intimate?
Yeah.
Like, I love you.
No, not that deep.
Okay.
That L word takes a long time to get.
Okay.
So, like I said, we lived about an hour and a half apart. So we decided to kind of meet halfway. After we met, we went to a movie. So a whole movie date. So we went to dinner and then we went back to his hotel because we were going to have sex. Like that was part of the conversation leading up to us meeting. We were going to go out on a date, go back to the hotel and have sex. And then I was going to stay the night and go back to where I was stationed and he was going to go home. So we were young. I think I was probably 19 at the time.
Wow. Okay.
So he was probably about the same
So
age.
it's definitely
maybe
black and white.
eight, whatever. 18, 19. We were both the same age-ish. And he wanted all the lights off when we were having sex. Now, I will say that when we met, the photos that I had seen looked the same. So facial features, the whole 9 yards looked the same. We had not traded any nudes or anything, right? It was literally just facial pictures. So after we got undressed, we got into bed, got under the covers. Mind you, the lights
In
are
the
out.
dark, yeah.
In the dark, I felt something that just didn't feel right. So we're making out, and I just feel this doesn't feel right. So
What do you mean it doesn't feel right?
So,
You're reaching down, touching him?
I'm reaching down, I'm touching him, you know, caressing him, stuff like that. And I go around to the front. There's no dick.
Oh.
There's a dildo.
Oh.
And not to mention, there were tits. So this was actually a female who was wanting to be male. Transitioning. And just didn't say it. We'd been having conversation for about 7 months before we met up. So definitely very awkward, very awkward moment. And yeah,
it's one of those situations where I understand the insecurity, but I wish you had brought it up. It could have been different.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying, you know, before is like, I wish that you would just tell me
Yeah.
up front. Tell me up front. And if I'm into it, then I'm going to continue having a conversation with you.
But on the flip side, you can understand as well, they probably got so much rejection, especially in that
100%.
time, that period you're talking about.
100%. You know, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So not black and white.
Oh, my mind was cartoons, just.
So, again, just tell me, because I mean, I'm okay with that. We did have sex, so, and I did stay the night. You know,
Did you like the boobs?
I did.
I did too.
We already had this discussion, Izzy. We know you're gold star.
Wait, did we have this discussion?
Yes, we did. Our listeners know that you're a gold star gay.
They didn't need to know that.
They know that I'm bi, and they know that I like some boobs.
Okay.
So,
I like boobs too. I
but
appreciate
yeah, so
some
I mean,
boobs.
we had sex. We did continue to talk after that. We did hook up a couple more times, but then I moved away. So,
So could something have formed there?
no, not at all.
What makes you say that?
Because I want a dick in my life.
Oh, so at the end of the day, you wanted.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I wanted a real dick, not a rubber one. I got plenty of them in the dresser drawer.
Well, damn. What about the person?
You know, I mean, nothing against her. You know, my apologies. But it's just I wanted a real one. So very nice, very nice. So yeah, so that's my catfish story. So
That is an interesting one because I don't know.
what would you do?
Because my biggest thing is like, if you're not forthcoming about things like that, especially if you're thinking about a relationship, you're already lying about these things to me.
We were 19. Who's thinking about a relationship at 19?
No, I'm just saying now, like
Except
thinking
for,
about
you
it,
know, well, no, I can't even say Megan looks for him at 19 because she likes him to be 21.
especially if we're thinking about dating apps and dating in general. If you're starting out, if you start out with a lie, that's a very bad impression to start off with.
Yes. Like I said, in that situation, had he just told me, it wouldn't have been so awkward. Because I mean, in that moment, it stops everything, you know, because it's a shock. And then I'm sure on his side, it was, you know, he felt like he had done something wrong.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I wasn't offended by it. You know, I was more upset at just the fact you just didn't tell me.
Yeah.
You know, because I still would have met up with you. I still would have gone to dinner. I still would have hooked up with you. You know, but I just wish you would have told me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Nobody wants to be lied to.
Well, and I agree. It's probably a lot of the shelter part of it. One, they probably haven't even tried with anybody else, so they're terrified
it could be.
to even say anything, but they want to have the chance.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about those kind of feelings. Not everybody can, especially over. I mean, it's easier to do it over an app or text or
Right.
something you're not face to face, but you get face to face.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother story.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think in that situation, I mean, again, I don't know because I've never been in that position that
Yeah.
they're in, but
You never catfished anyone?
no, I've never catfished anyone. I'm talking like,
That's a shaky no.
whatever. But I'm talking like the whole, in that situation where they're
yeah.
changing their sex. You know, I've never been in that situation where I have to explain that to somebody, but I think if I was in that position, I would rather doing it over line than,
So wait,
Yeah.
you know, through
Have you-
text message rather than face to face.
Face to face. The rejection would be too hard.
Right.
yeah.
So, and I think that was a situation of being young
Yeah.
and just trying to see what boundary you could push.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I let him push it.
I mean, you kept it going too.
Yeah. But cool. Well, so back to dating apps. Do you guys have any like intriguing like off the wall questions or comments you've ever been asked on a dating app?
Intriguing or off the wall question?
I know you do, Mr. I'll pay you $500 to lick your feet.
Oh my God, there was a guy that did that. They're like, that's going into the freaking fetish world where like the more extreme it becomes, the more they're willing to, use money to try to convince you to do it. And I think that's, part of that world where it's like, I'm more likely to get someone to, like, let's say, take a crap on my chest if I'm willing to pay them. Because now you're pushing that kind of boundary with them. So I definitely had those, which I'm like, ooh, money. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I can't do that.
So did you get the $500?
I got new shoes. No. But this ain't strange request. Yeah, I wouldn't say dating. If it was like a hookup situations and stuff like that, yes. I've had strange comments made and things like that. But not really dating. I think it's pretty tamed where people are trying to feel each other out.
Yeah.
So I've never, again, we've talked about, like, for me personally, like, I push the boundary quite a bit. So for me, something strange is not strange for other people. So, or I should say that the other way around, actually. For what's strange for other people is not strange for me.
Right.
So, yeah. Anybody else?
No.
Okay. Do you think that dating apps have made things easier and made people more shallow with the ability to just swipe left or right?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that one.
I think so too. I agree. Like, again, we go back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like people base the majority of their, do I even want to read their profile off of their picture?
I am sorry, but I have to admit, I am one of those people. If I don't see your picture and I don't find any bit of you that's attractive, I'm not going to be able to get aroused. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to. So if I can't swipe right on your picture alone, there's no point in me reading your bio.
Yeah, people need to accept
my question to that is, like, if I have just a neck up photo,
you better be thick.
You don't know what I've got below that.
That's true, but the face gets you in the door. Then you go to the profile and see what other pictures.
Or what if they've got like a chiseled chest photo?
Okay, as long as
chest, no face.
Just a chest, no face.
No, nope.
Yeah, I'm agree with that.
Nope.
I got to see a face first before I see the rest of you.
See, I
don't know. If I see a chest first, I don't think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, Steve is straight. If he hasn't told y'all yet, or you haven't picked up on that, like straight.
And group photos, I won't. If that's your first picture,
I hate that.
Nope. Swipe left right away. I won't do it. I'm not fishing for what you look like. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Right.
It's never the one you think it is.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be you, isn't it? And then you scroll down and you're like, yep,
No.
it's you. You're not the one I was looking for.
Nope. So I'd say yes.
So along with that, with them being shallow, do you think that dating apps have allowed people to express their isms more, such as like ageism, racism, stuff like that?
Oh, there is that too. I've had people being like, oh, I don't date Hispanics or Latinos or anything like that. But if I took that away from my profile, like, you wouldn't really have a general, like, you wouldn't be able to hone in.
Right.
as
I
much.
mean, for some people, just might be a good tan person.
Or Middle Eastern.
And okay,
I get that a lot.
you can generalize, but you don't like white guys.
I don't. But that doesn't mean I won't sleep with them. I just think they stink.
Okay, well,
Wow.
but see, I like it when apps have an ethnicity as an option.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
But I also think that also leads to
I think that it does lead to
It
Yes.
narrows.
I do
Mine.
too.
racism. And I think that just like having an age leads to ageism.
I don't think it's as much as racism as his preference.
I don't know about
I
that.
think it's an
'Cause
excuse.
some people just aren't attracted to a certain race.
That's-
And
yeah.
that's, I don't know. It's not racist. I don't think, in my opinion. I don't really. You're just not sexually attracted to that certain race.
I like
That's
them
perfectly
all.
fine.
I'd have to agree.
I like them all. I mean, I have my preferential
Yeah.
of what I like more. And
I
white
could see
guys,
that.
sorry, you're at the bottom.
Yeah, see, I have ones that I will just not go for at all.
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to, and it's horrible to admit, but nope, if I can't get aroused just by you in general, and if I know this specific ethnicity does nothing for me, I am not going to find any guy that's going to, because I already know the couple that I've tried with in the past have shut up.
I watched her push that boundary one night.
I know.
not
Watch.
Not
but
in
not
real time.
In real time.
Okay.
I watched them walk down into the guest bedroom and walk out of the guest bedroom
Yes.
after they left the bar.
Yep.
Okay.
I know that I don't have a preference for that ethnicity, so I'm not going to look for them anymore. Does that mean that I'm racist towards them? No. I think it's my preference that, and I don't think it's fair to say that I could be racist because I'm not attracted to those type of people.
Yeah. I think that that's a little different than, there are people on these apps, though, that are being racist.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So what? Did they match with you and then bash you or something? Like what?
It depends which app, because you don't necessarily have to match in all of them. You can just straight up send a message to them, or you get completely rejected without even hey, hi, get to know me kind of deal.
Right.
It's because you're this particular race, or they have this preconceived assumption. It steps into racism, I think, when they have these preconceived notions
of it,
of you, and then they're like, yeah, this is why I'm not dating you. And I'm like, I'm not. Those are stereotypes you're putting onto me that don't make sense.
Right.
And then, then it's like physical. I get it. Like, physically you're not attracted to me. Okay. But if you say you're not attracted to me because, let's say, I'm Puerto Rican, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up dating apps, and we'll come back to the end of where everybody eventually mostly wants to be, is a long-term relationship. Where do you think that dating apps fall in regards to a long-term relationship? Do they help, or are they a hindrance?
I personally, in my family, I have a sister that actually met her fiance on eHarmony, and they've been together years, and it worked out really great for them. I think dating apps, not hookup apps, are a good way for the more shy to get out there. And even I don't really consider myself all that shy, but I also am a little reserved about going up to somebody in person anymore and telling them, hey, why don't we just sit together and talk or something? I'd rather just kind of spill all my tea at the moment, and you decide whether I'm interested in you or not. So I don't know.
I don't know. Like, for me, you have your stories of dating apps and stuff like that, where they find their match and they're together forever, or what have you. But I think that the majority of the stories that come out of dating apps are just not long-term relationship friendly.
Yeah.
I think that it's hard to establish that connection with somebody, because it is so easy to just go on to the next person. And even if I do establish that connection with you and we are dating, and there's a moment in our relationship where things may not be the greatest, it's so easy just to get on there and go to the next person.
Find the next.
And so I think that in that respect, I think that dating apps are a hindrance to long-term relationships, because it's created this culture where we don't have to work on things in relationships anymore.
Yeah.
Because if we're having a disagreement or we're having an argument or something like that, well, I can just go find somebody else.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just think that they're a hindrance to long-term relationships. And like I said, I'm not on any of the apps anymore. I haven't been on them in a long time. So I'm happy with that.
I will say that even though there's so much negative to it, I think the biggest positive is that it opens the door to meeting people outside of your circle, even, dating realm, not just social talking to people, but dating. You're dating people you wouldn't normally date.
Mm-hmm.
Like, had dating apps not been around and I've been dating in my, inner circle and stuff, like, I just imagine the type of person I would be, because there has been relationships that evolved me as a person, that opened my understandings on
I could see
people and
that.
stuff, like different cultures that I've experienced. And I'm like, wait, you guys do things, differently. That's where dating apps have, like, I think the biggest positive, that you're dating outside of your normal pool. You have that capability, because some people, you put the filter on and you're still dating within one pool. For that, I think it has more of a positive impact, because now, I mean, I've had relationships that have lasted 3-4 years, and they were found on dating apps because we just clicked. And once you click with someone too, like truly click with someone, even the people that come in like trying to talk to you, they become noise. Like you find yourself distancing yourself from the other people because you're so attracted to that person. And that says a lot. Like, that means, whoa, I'm really, truly interested in this guy, this person. And the apps just fall off. Like, well, for, me speaking personally for myself, but you just, it's a sign for me that, these other people, these other opportunities that I have mean nothing to me. I'm just focused on this one person. So it's something to me, and it makes it more worth pursuing.
Yeah.
So I think it has its positive. It's eye-opening.
I won't
think.
say that they don't have their positive. I'm just saying, for me, I just noticed when I was on them that, for me,
I'm being optimistic with it.
the larger percentage of it did not favor long-term relationships. So, but who knows? Some people find love.
Steve, how do you feel about it?
I think they produce laziness.
Oh, that's a good one.
I do. I think it's just too easy to just do that number, this whole swipe
swipe
thing.
right, left.
Or I see people that just, the rapid swiping. Just don't
Yeah.
even
Hope for the
care.
best.
You say that. It's funny you say that, because I used to work with this girl, actually, who's a cop, and she had literally gone through every Bumble profile within 500 miles.
Oh my God.
You're lying.
She had nobody within 500 miles. Literally gone through. And she's now with somebody, and she found him in a bar. So, yeah.
Again, that's the human experience. Like, it's going to be different for everyone.
So it's kind of funny. So, but that wraps up our episode on Raw and Uncut, my fellow deviants. If you want to know more about our show, reach out to our hosts. You can head over to our website, which is attached in the show notes, along with our Facebook page. Don't be shy. Reach out. Drop us a line. If you want to ask us a question, you want to talk, have us talk about a topic or something you want to hear about, just let us know. Be sure to share podcasts on your favorite platforms. We're on all the platforms out there. Before we go, though, while dating apps have their place in today's society, they can be dangerous as well. So make sure you're careful on what information you give out. And when you meet up with people, make sure you use your safety precautions. Tell people where you're going. Let somebody know. Tell a friend. I think my smashes are starting to work. Tell a friend where you're going, or, if you're into that, drop your location, share your Find My Friend or whatever it is. Remember, always do what makes you happy. And as always, choose your safe word wisely.
Adios, papi.